Welcome to TNT, baby, the naked truth with Taylor Armstrong, where I'm going to expose everything about my life, and my guests are going to come on, get naked with me, and bear it all. Now, let's get naked. Hey, it's TNT. I'm Taylor here with Gemma, and today we are going to get down to our spiritual truth. I have two amazing guests from the Chakra Shack in Laguna Beach, Jill and Natasha. Thank you so much for being here. We had the opportunity to come hang out at the Chakra Shack the other day, and there was so much to look at. I have to hear more about. It's just a big experience, but also it's a learning experience because there's so many things you can do to improve your soul and your spirituality. And I learned so much, but today we're going to learn a lot more. So thank you for coming.
Oh, we are so excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yes. When did you open the Chakra Shack?
It's been 21 years now, believe it or not.
Oh my
Yeah. I think it was 2002,
amazing.
right? I know.
21 years.
I was a
Well, that
babe.
shows there's a demand for what you're doing for sure.
Well, it took 20 years to become, popular.
No, I don't believe that.
I already got the idea
Check
for
it
the
out.
next
Check
20
it
years.
out, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, it changed. The pandemic really brought spirituality more to people's awareness, especially in
Absolutely.
the younger market. So we did see quite a boom then.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It makes total sense. And Laguna is such an open community as far as being accepting to spirituality. And so it's a perfect place to be. And I think that it's spread, though. It's so much more mainstream now. And maybe COVID had something to do with that.
Yes, it most definitely did. When I first opened, there was no other shops like mine. I mean, people were open to it, though, and I'd have people coming in and being like, oh, thank you. You know, we can't believe there's not a shop like this. But yeah, through COVID and TikTok and everyone being
It's like
locked
a whole
up,
different world
Right.
over the last 21 years.
it has changed. So
Yeah.
we've seen so much new stores and entry to the market right now. So we'll see what happens.
Oh my gosh.
So what kind of services do you have for people to come in and get what kind of readings or what other things can they do besides all the cool stuff we're going to talk about today?
So, services are kind of our biggest thing that we offer. So we do aura photography, which I'm going to show you a little bit later.
We
Yeah.
did it.
So
I know. I
that
can't wait
was
to
the
talk
most
about
fun.
it. Aura photography.
Yeah.
When
We're
I
going
got
to check
come
that out
out
for
and
sure.
see the shop, I was like, what is aura photography? That sounds incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah, and it
Yes.
was.
It really is.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Yes. And then you do tarot?
So then I have about maybe 10 different service providers that offer anything from tarot. Natalia here does astrology. We have angel card readings, palmistry.
what's that?
Angel card, it's just tarot is a type of deck.
Okay.
Using like the Fool and all that. So it would just be a different type of deck using more angel symbols.
Oh, that's
So-
nice.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like it
So
too.
there's something for everyone.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely about like figuring, I always recommend people when they want to, who do I pick? What do I do?
Right.
Use your intuition. Look at the different people, see who you connect with, what services,
Right.
or if there's like a day, I need one right now.
Right.
That's probably your
Right,
sign that
exactly.
whoever's working
You're like,
right
"I need
now.
to-
Right,
oh,
exactly.
okay,
That's usually my sign is like the right now, but
That's like when I need to go to the doctor. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just take whoever.
yeah,
I
who's
just
available?
need to go now. I waited too long.
exactly. We all have our different ways of making choices. But yeah, it's important because they all have people that love them, but it's not going to be the same, and all of our paths are not going to be the same and need the same thing. So
Right. Well, I know after I've been through some difficult times in my life, I had someone come in after my husband committed suicide and cleanse my house. And since this is our brand new studio, I was hoping that you could use some of your clearing energy and give us a great start kicking
That would
off
be
the Naked Truth.
amazing.
okay, yeah, we
tell
would
me-
be more than happy to do that.
Yes.
we do.
What should we do?
Because I see all of these amazing treats on this beautiful tray
They are
that it's
gorgeous.
like
Great.
incredible.
It's just
crystals,
colorful
and feathers,
crystals and
and sage.
sage, and then these beautiful feathers. I can't wait
And
to hear what you do
abalone.
with those.
Yeah.
Those crystals are just gorgeous, like a lapis looking and emerald green. I'm sure I'm calling them all the wrong names, so you're going to tell us what they actually
No,
are.
you actually got lapis, right?
Oh, okay,
yes,
good.
you did.
One down. Perfect.
Okay, so this is sage. You want to talk a little bit about the sage?
And there's like different kinds of sage. So I know that like
There's
whenever
a lot
I've
of
had
different
people, like my
kinds.
sister's really big into like Indian, like actually Indian culture.
Mhm.
And she does like, she used to work at the Water Museum in San Juan Capistrano and all this stuff with Native American Indians, right?
Mhm.
So it was like, oh my gosh. And so I was like, I had no idea that there were so many different kinds of sage. And like, do they mean different things or do you use them for different things? Or does
They
it
all,
matter?
yes, they all can mean slightly different. At their general
really?
core, it's going to be, usually clearing.
Right.
But yeah, and then there can be blends too, like sage with lavender, or you had a sage with rose. So everything just
Right.
kind of has a little unique spin.
Yeah.
This is our most popular. It's a common white sage.
Right.
So do you want to talk about this? And we'll go through the process with you guys.
That would be amazing.
love it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So essentially, this one is the common white sage. This one's used for focusing on bringing in good energy into a space. It's more of a general clearing.
Mhm.
There are different sages that we'll use for more intense purposes, or if we're trying to bring in a specific intention for love. This one we
Ooh.
use to clear, cleanse, and we call it smudging.
Right.
And honoring
I
sacred
have heard that
practices for
smudging
it.
before, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But overall, I mean, we try to light just one end of it. We don't need to use the whole stick.
Right.
We can conserve and, keep that respect with it as we're using it, and honoring it as we go through different corners of a space.
Mhm.
I think the important aspect of like when you're smudging is just to kind of be aware of what you're setting the intention for in your environment.
I love that.
Okay. And the corners are key, right?
Corners are clearing a space.
Okay, got it.
And I think that's why it's important. Like, besides, like, where some people might not be like, oh, sage, I'm going to sage this place or whatever. But the truth is, it's about setting the intention and like living with a particular purpose in mind, right? So the ritual, just like some people's ritual, I think, is coffee or in the morning or whatever it is, like you have your rituals that help you focus on your life, your intention, and what you're doing with it, which is why I really love the whole idea is the ritual of it. I
Yeah,
think.
because rituals are important
Yeah,
in
they
daily
are.
life and in everything. And
Yeah.
sage does, like, I think it clears like 99% of bacteria too. So
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Okay, well, there is
It
an awesome
an
purpose.
antibacterial.
I
Yeah,
love
so
it.
it actually does that too. I
That's
mean,
great.
we might need to shut all the doors
And
and,
it smells
windows
good.
to get that total
Yeah.
effect. But
And what is the origin of the sage?
funny.
How did that come about?
the origin of the sage.
Like
Well,
what culture?
There's different variants because it grows naturally in different environments. It's actually native in California too, to different coastal regions.
Okay.
So they would collect and gather, and different cultures would bring that around and use that in their practice. But it is able to grow as a natural living plant in multiple areas. So that's how it was
interesting.
used.
Okay,
That's
well,
interesting.
I can't wait. This is going to be great.
Okay,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, do you want to get the space and I can sage you guys if you would like?
Yes, let's
Oh
do
my
it.
gosh.
Okay, so
So how often do you personally sage your areas of your
Um,
house?
So I sage pretty often. Like she said, it's a ritual. So if ever I'm feeling like I need to ground, clear energy, that's when I would do it, when I would incorporate it as a needed thing. It's not like you have to do it every day or anything, but just when you feel like you need to reconnect with yourself and maybe shed the kind of like, a shower, like how often you
I
need
like
a
it.
shower.
Yeah.
Kind of depends on what's going on.
Right?
And it smells delicious.
So if you stand up,
Okay, here we go. We're getting saged.
It's official.
so I'm just going to be, setting the intention to remove what no longer serves and to bring in all for the highest good.
I love it.
Right.
And you can just like take some deep breaths and imagine that. And then if you could turn around. So I'm just getting all areas of her aura and energy.
It's a fresh start right now.
really
Right?
This is
know.
it.
I kind of
Probably-
feel uplifted
Right?
already.
Is it like working?
really
I already
does.
feel good
I
too.
Right?
I feel lighter for some reason. I'm
Right?
just
How about you?
I'm
Do you want, would you
believing
like to
in
be?
it.
Okay, you're all good.
It's my intention. I'm
Okay,
just
yeah,
to believe in it.
I'll get
For sure.
saged as
All right,
well.
Gemma, you get sage now.
Here we go.
And what are you using to waft that? That's such a beautiful. It's like a big tail. Is that a
Yeah, so
turkey tail?
yeah, what kind of tail? I forget what this one. Pheasant. That's what I was thinking. Pheasant.
feather.
And it's bounded, and then it has a quartz crystal wrapped around it. And quartz is an amplifier, so an amplifier of energy, of intention. So as I set the intention to clear what no longer serves and to bring in goodness of the highest good for all.
breathe it in, Gemma.
Okay, go
Breathe
ahead
in the
and
goodness.
turn
the
around, and I'll get your
clearing.
back. Letting go of what's
She's gonna get
behind
my
you.
back.
Yeah, I
love
got your
it.
back.
She's got your back.
I got your back, girl.
And the studio's getting cleansed at the
Yeah,
same
so
time.
Natalia's getting the other energies.
Getting a fresh start. It's exciting.
I love it.
In life, it's always good to set the intentions of letting go of the
That's right.
past and what no longer serves so we can move in
It
to
really
the present
is.
and
I mean,
the future.
the things that
idea.
block you are the things that are just
Yes.
letting go of regrets and things from the past. And this is just one more way to push you toward the future and let go
And
of
I think
those
that's
things
why
that
those
hold us
rituals
back.
are important, is because it isn't that easy to just let go. It is a daily practice. It is something that you have to do every single day. Like you can't just be like, I forgot about the past. Like you can go out one day and have a party, and you can go to a concert, and you can go on vacation, you can do whatever. But dealing with past trauma, pain, anything is a daily practice, I think. And that's why I think all these things just really help you focus on getting through every day.
Yeah.
Well, you said it right there. Letting go is a practice.
It's a practice.
It's not something you do once. I let it go and it's gone forever.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's, it's learning to incorporate and integrate those experiences we have from our past and knowing that's a part of us now, and that's what was needed to create the next step.
And I like that there's this shift, I think, in society of people in general realizing that, because I feel like, especially like our age demographic, I do feel like people are expected to just move on. Like, that's it. Your boyfriend breaks up with you. That's great. Find a new boyfriend.
Yeah,
You're like,
you were
no,
too good
my
for him
heart's
anyway.
broken, and I don't think I'm ever going to recover, but okay.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon you're just sitting there like with a blanket over your head, and you have to find a way to like still exist, but with that pain. Like, my mom died when I was young, right? It's like, that's with me every day. That's not something I'm gonna get over. Like, you don't ever get over any of it. So it's like, but they pretend like you do.
Yeah, I think that's more like spiritual bypassing.
Yeah.
Or toxic positivity.
Oh,
or-
yeah, toxic positivity. We were just talking about that
That's
the
like a
other
big
day. It's such a
buzzword.
good phrase. Well, all the spiritual tools and practices that you have, it's just setting the intention on what you want in life, which is letting go of all the negativity, but just going through the process makes you feel lighter and makes you look forward. I feel
lighter already.
Like very cleansed while it was happening. I could just feel a lightness. So what about the crystals? Because I love crystals, and we were talking about them, all these beautiful ones at your shop the other day. So tell us a little bit about them and what their powers are.
Sure. Okay. So
We lost Natalia.
we did lose
She's
Natalia.
saging the whole office for
Natalia.
us.
Oh, she's probably doing the whole
Oh, okay.
She's doing
Maybe
the
we
whole
can find
studio.
her.
She's beautiful.
Okay. Well, she was going to talk about some of them.
We can edit.
Because
We can just edit that back together, right, guys?
we're going to have to now.
We lost Natalia. I think she's actually saging the whole studio. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay, so these, I was going to talk, these ones relate to the heart chakra. So as, we're called the Chakra Shack. Chakra Shack is wheels of light or energy, and it's where your aura and it's based in like multiple religions that we have core energy centers. Each one, addresses different emotions, different traits. So the heart chakra, as you can kind of imagine there, it's located in the center of your chest. Rose quartz relates to it on a self-love level, just bringing love, compassion. It's through compassion, it's through love that we become our truest versions of ourselves. So rose quartz is like, I always say everyone should have one of these, but it's really connecting with yourself and showing yourself that love and compassion. And this is malachite, which I love malachite.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Now this is a deep work stone for emotional, like a lot of processing grief and the deep, heavy emotions that come with it. Because it's important that emotions get stuck in our body. So we have to learn to feel them and let them move through us. And that's, I think, the challenge we're facing.
Well, and sometimes there's no time for that.
Well,
that's why that making time for that is so important, because it's just hard.
It really is.
Yeah. And unfortunately, if you don't make time for it, it will find you later in life.
Exactly.
Whether it manifests
so
in
true.
unhealthy relationships or pain in your body. They're doing a lot of research now that what we ignore now will get us later.
100%. I hear you. But on that one, on the beautiful green, is malachite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so with that one, if someone's gone through some grief, then how do you apply that to your life? So you put it near where in your life? Where in your life?
So you could put it near yourself. You could set, hold it with the intention. I'm a big proponent of any meditation and breath work. So in those practices, as you set the intention, you could have it near you and just in your space as well too.
Now, someone told me with the crystals that I've had that I should rub sea salt all over them under warm water and then put them out in the moonlight when the moon is full. Is that accurate?
That is one way. Crystals definitely do carry energy. There's a few crystals like selenite that won't hold energy. but don't put that in water because it's water soluble. But for the most part, they do. And yes, sea salt is a way to clear energy, moonlight, sunlight, intention, like breath is a way to clear energy. So all of those things are ways. But yeah, you would definitely want to keep clearing the energy. Am I missing any? Did I get them all there?
You got them all?
Yeah. So those are the different ways. So that it sounded like a combination of all of those.
I'm seriously curious. What got you into this?
So when it was my 2 years before I graduated college, I had so much loss in my family. My stepfather passed away, and about like 6 others in my family, and
It all happened at one time.
It was a lot all at once within like a year. And yeah, it was a change. Yeah, the whole trajectory of my life.
That's
And
me.
all-
My mom, my dad, my mom, my husband, and my grandmother at the same time, and then it does change your whole everything.
It does.
Yeah.
It definitely just got.
And so you found
goosebumps.
answers here.
I found, well, there's lots of answers everywhere you go. But what really connected me, well, all of a sudden I got into all of this. I went to like lots of churches at that time. And while I can find, pieces of God or the universe everywhere, it was the exclusion. Like I'd go in and I'd feel so connected and they'd be like, if you believe anything else or everyone else is going to hell.
Right.
And that would just like instantly shut me off. So what I really liked about this is I got to find what resonated for me, what connected me. So maybe I'm not super following astrology. I connect with the crystals, but that's okay. Like I'm not harming anyone by not, and it wasn't like I had to believe this or I had to not believe this. I got to figure out what it meant for me, what worked for me.
What's working in your life for you?
Yeah.
And like follow your own intuition, right?
Yeah. And after 20, years, like it's changing a little bit. Some practices remain, some, it can transform into
a whole new thing.
Yeah, whole new different areas and ways of being. So
and we have so much more education available to us now too. So it's like you can watch videos and you can I always call the internet the oracle. You can ask the oracle and then you can get other people's opinions and see what other people are doing.
Oh my gosh, no, yeah.
And all of a sudden, like this little, you thought you were like in this doorway and it's like almost anything you can think about now is just this insane amount of information and it's also interesting.
And the way those algorithms can really, I know they have, everything has good and positive aspects and negative, but the way they can just really connect you with things, I'm experiencing something, I can pop in a few things, find it, and the next day there's a new teacher showing me something. You would have never, what would I have been in a library looking up?
How
you would have never
get this information before? No. It blows my mind. Yeah.
When I was first attracted to crystals, I was nervous to pick the wrong one because I wanted to make sure I wasn't, I want to get the right energy for what I was actually needing. And so it was a little intimidating when I was first going in. And I like how at the Chakra Shack, it's spelled out really clearly. So not to take something that maybe is not exactly what you need. Like you said, the grief, the crystal with the grief capabilities of helping through that. So it was a little intimidating for me, but I like how you have explained it all so clearly.
It's very intimidating. I think a lot of people are interested in the whole practice, but it's kind of overwhelming. And even me, sometimes I'm like, am I subscribing to this? Is this real? But it feels good, but am I crazy? But so you have all these questions. So I think a place when we walked in there, you guys are so welcoming. And it's you're totally hey, let me explain it to you without being intimidating is kind of really cool.
It is, for sure.
I definitely was very conscious of that. When I first opened my store, my mom was scared to go in other stores like mine. So I really did work on creating an environment that was inviting and customer service because anything unknown and becomes unfamiliar.
Yeah. But it's funny that you would be intimidated of a shop that's literally actually based on love.
I know. Exactly. All spiritual.
I'm actually scared to go in there. I don't know why. I'm gonna walk in the door and a spell's gonna be put on me or something.
Right? Yeah. Right. But that's so they were kind of wired. Yeah, definitely.
So would you have a garden of or a collection of all the different crystals that you want? The love and then the grief, all the things that you feel like you need. Do you keep them all together in one space or do you spread them out? Does their energy interfere with one another? Or?
Oh, that's interesting.
Some are definitely going to have opposite energies. One that's, meant to give you passion and excitement. You don't want to be next to your restful peace ones.
Oh, that makes sense.
So you probably want to stick to the themes of them. Especially if you're working with them. Obviously on the table for display, we have them all together. So it's not anything terrible is going to happen to you. But when you're using them, because a lot of it is the intention and the energy they hold. So if you're looking in, and I bought this peace to remind myself of peace and tranquility, then yeah, I don't want to be looking at something that's exact opposite.
Right.
As much as we can do to move in one direction in life, I think we get places farther, right?
Yeah.
The circles.
Yeah.
You put the energy one by the coffee
Yeah,
maker
I was gonna
and the
say,
rest
yeah.
one by the bed.
Yeah,
That's probably what's
Exactly.
happening in my house
Exactly.
right now.
Do not confuse the two.
Yeah,
Otherwise you have to
exactly.
coffee and rest together.
Exactly.
That's like with like feng shui, like you're not supposed to have mirrors that face each other or something because like the energy bounces back and forth like in your house or something.
Yeah, well, mirrors can direct energy. There's a few
Yeah, it's
schools of feng
interesting.
shui, so I haven't gotten
Yeah.
totally into it, but yeah,
I
you
know,
can
it's
definitely
like the
use it
same
to
type of
direct
thing.
energy. So
So what
So
is the black sphere? It's just like a beautiful big black marble, basically, is what it looks like to me. What is that one?
This one here is a black tourmaline sphere, and it's natural. It has the red inclusions in it, so you know that it hasn't been like, tampered in any way, but it's very deep levels of protection, healing. It's very much like a keeping you grounded, keeping your energy field protected. This
Oh,
is
I
like
like
one of the
that.
stronger stones for like shielding your aura. So you're not
Oh, I think
allowing
we need
things
that.
in.
Do not allowing negative energy to come near you.
Yes.
So we sell a lot of these, or in the tumbled stones to put at the corners of the house for protection, for grounding purposes. I should have some in my bra right now just to keep me
It's
connected
like
to
an
the earth.
evil eye of a whole different thing, right? Like it just like you picture it like an evil eye, right? Like it
Mhm.
protects you like
Yeah,
the
so
same way. Like right?
But that one's so smooth.
no?
And so the tumbled ones, they're all different shapes and sizes, and that one just looks so spherical, for the lack of a better word. So why is
Yeah.
it so smooth and different than the others?
They did put it in a tumbler and polish it.
Okay.
Sometimes black tourmaline, you'll see it in its rough form, so it's like more kind of charcoal-like. And when you see it in that way, people sometimes indicate if it's starting to chip away, it's taking in negative energy and it's breaking.
Oh, that
Ooh.
is kind of like the evil eye, right?
That is
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, it is for protection. So yes.
Oh, that's very cool. And then the clear one is just beautiful. I'm sure it's just
The
Smoky
smoky
quartz.
oh yeah, smoky quartz.
I am such a big fan of this crystal. Smoky quartz is for transmuting negative energy to positive. So instead of being
Ooh.
like, oh, I don't want this in my life, like that's not for me, it's like I can take something that might be shadow aspects of someone else or myself.
I need that one.
I can make it better.
That's the one I need to buy that.
I feel like we need them all.
That's how I was. I'm like, oh, you could only pick one. I was in there going, I need this one. I need
All of
that
them,
one.
I know.
I need to wake up. I need to go to sleep.
I know. Gemma and I did a wellness retreat recently, and it was talking about what you're saying about taking the positive and then blending it with the negative
pretty
and being
much.
able to try to figure out how to emotionally merge those so that it takes the power away from the negative
one.
by
Mhm.
adding a little positive to it. So I feel like that would be the smoky quartz would be perfect for that
It
intention.
would.
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
my god, and it's beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
I mean, like I just love it as a
do they have
It's beautiful,
something
yeah.
very
that
to
would
look
make
at.
like a beautiful necklace. Plus, you'd have that with you all the time to block the negative while you're wearing
Ooh,
it.
I like that.
Transmute it even.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That sounds great.
Different places that you place the stone on your body will affect different chakras. So to have it as a necklace, it's right where you're speaking to the world. So you're able to transmute any of your fears as you're communicating with others.
I love that idea.
That's very cool. And then the rose quartz, you could do that too, right? Put it
Mhm.
because it'd be near your heart chakra, the pink.
Mm-hmm.
So the craziest thing is when we came into your shop the other day and we did the aura photography, like, do we want to try to do that?
I think we
Here?
do. Okay, we're gonna be right back because you got to check out this aura photography. We had ours done, and I have a lot of questions.
Okay,
I know.
awesome.
So
Let's do
we'll
it.
be right back with the Chakra Shack girls.
Awesome. Thank you.
We're back. It's TNT. I'm Taylor, and I'm here with Gary, Jill, Natalia, and Gemma. And they have shared so much with us today about the beautiful Chakra Shack in Laguna Beach, which I'm a huge fan of. But I really wanted to talk today about intentions and how we can make intentions in our mind, but also how our intuition affects our intentions. And Natalia, you are an expert and you are highly intuitive. So how did you get that gift? Why do you think it comes to you? Just tell us everything.
Yeah.
I feel intuition is something we all have, and it's like a muscle. And awareness when you're younger, I mean, maybe feeling called to seeing like, oh, what do I feel emotionally? And is it me or is it the environment? I think that's maybe where I started my journey, trying to understand what my intuitive muscle was trying to lift. And I feel going on my journey now, as I got into my 20s and then found the Chakra Shack, that opened up all of the doors and all the windows. And it gave me a space to really be like, oh, this is a muscle that I can train that allows me to navigate my world, that can make me feel safe, can make me discern when something is right or isn't right for me, so I feel more in alignment with my life. And I feel the intentions that are set for each person when you're opening yourself to self-awareness is like, okay, I want to look at all parts of myself, love myself. I feel that was the basis of any intention I had. And then the world just kind of opened up from there, and the journey became
I literally love that. I mean, she already has me wanting to cry. That's because that isn't like to see also coming into that and finding Jill and then the two of you connecting and now you being there and working there is like such a big part of your life. And I think you have such a great message to share with people. Like, I feel like you need a book already because you're passionate and I can feel like it really like directs you. And like, it's what an easy answer if we can all learn how to use that muscle.
Absolutely. But I think all of us have that going with your gut feeling. And when we deny that, I mean, that seems maybe as a very simple form of intuition to you. But I know anytime I look back on big mistakes I've made in my life or sliding doors that I've taken the wrong sliding door, I knew in my heart. And I knew better, but I just wouldn't let my brain tell my heart and vice versa. So how do you separate the two?
It's interesting that you say like your heart here, because I see that there's the two instincts. There's the gut instinct, which is more like your solar plexus, your analytical thinking form that is like XYZ will get me here. Right. And it can be easy to get caught in like the, how is it going to work out? Is this right or wrong? And then the intuitive instinct is more like a trusting in your heart first. And then you move up here and
the hard one.
Yeah, did it feel right in my heart? Mm-hmm. But I think the slowing down and listening to it would have been you learning. And learning is perfect. Like you are where you need to be so you could grow. And so had that not happened, you wouldn't know now. You couldn't teach others had you not walked through it.
Right.
Yeah, getting in the way of your own.
And then your brain, which
self
sits there and juggles the two.
Right.
For hours on end.
I know. That's the thing. I feel like I talk myself sometimes out of what my gut and my heart might be telling me. And I think, I'm a very emotional person and a people pleaser. And so then I'm thinking like, is this my intuition? Is this my people pleasing aspects? So just separating those. When did you feel the first time that you really could feel that in other people, like to be intuitive for others and be able to give readings?
I definitely feel I came to this world through like studying the stars. That's what brought me to like awareness. But then when I came to the Chakra Shack and we started reading energy fields and like being able to sense and see multiple patterns of like when this person's going through a throat communication issue, I might feel it in my throat, like I can't say something. Really? And I'm like, oh, okay, we need to speak up about something.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right.
Wow. And then what about someone that's going through like a heartbreak? Do you personally feel that for people?
Yes, because it's in the environment around them, like if they had an atmosphere, and when you get into their space, their aura, you can feel the emotions, the weights they're moving through.
Absolutely. I think so too. So when we came in the other day, did you get feelings off of us?
We always get feelings.
Yeah, did you get feelings off of us?
We're splashing our feelings everywhere.
It's like you can feel like if you feel safe with someone because you can take a deeper breath because you know that that person is aware of themselves, that they're going to act in a state of consciousness and love.
I love that.
You presented that, like both of you, very clearly. It felt safe to be in
and vice versa.
Oh my God.
I would think it would be kind of intimidating to be with an intuitive all the time though, because you're like, okay, how do I block what I'm actually thinking right now? Like with your husband or your
totally
wife,
impossible,
or your friend. Like, are they reading me?
Time to talk.
It's right.
You need to get something off your chest.
Exactly.
No, I don't. Yes.
Let me know when it comes to your awareness.
Exactly.
Because I know you do.
Is it harder for you to? Are you more intuitive with people that you're close to, or less?
I feel I allow myself to make a healthy space unless someone wants to say and present something to me, because it's not my job to go into them and try to help them. And I'm trying to learn my lessons as well.
I actually feel like a lot of people in general are very intuitive people, but that you are taught as a society to not hone into your intuition. Mm-hmm. So I feel like a lot of people, like, that leads to depression and all these different things because you're actually overly sensitive. We say overly, but you're just normal human. But we say overly sensitive, right? But they're not. I think that you're just sensitive to the energy around you. And so you have to learn how to deal with that. And if you can't deal with it or hone it or learn how to control it or how to put it in its own boxes, that it becomes like depressing and might make you like, I don't know, be in your room or watching TV or like not doing all these things.
Isolating,
like
definitely.
because you're overly sensitive. I know that I'm a little bit intuitive growing up, and people would have feelings, and like my mom being in the hospital, that was the first thing. I couldn't deal with it. Like I couldn't like process it. And then certain things you can't process, so you learn to like shut down. I love the idea, like daily practice again, how you've taken like what you experienced through the day and let it flow through you instead of sticking to you. And I feel like that's a really big lesson. Like I'm so impressed with you, like as a person, because you can process so well.
Hold on to things. I think we hold on to a lot of things more than we need to.
Right.
You should just go out. That way you can get that good energy back in.
Yeah.
Gives you a fresh breath too, and it cleans your mind so that you can have some good clarity, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you do it again the next day.
The next 5 minutes,
Right?
exactly. We're gonna be very busy with all of
Yeah.
our cleansing. We're gonna be so positive and healthy, though. It's
I
gonna
want
be
to
Yeah.
have a shower now.
I
Thank
know,
you.
I know. We're gonna save so much on deodorant. I'm just kidding.
So
Because
when
we're so clear.
when someone comes in that you have concerns about, how do you approach that? You know, something that you're really feeling, something that might be negative.
Right.
Well, I let them approach the space, and this is coming from the statement as an intuitive reader, because there's different formats for holding space for someone, and you really want to have that be a valuable exchange so they feel witnessed and seen. Because someone just walking in to see you and then being like, my whole life is like being lost right now, what do I do? Me saying
That's
a
a lot.
stone isn't gonna, do that work. Sometimes you really have to sit with those emotions. So intuitive readers will be where we have people sit with them, take the time to really sit and experience those emotions and be witnessed in it. And when that is happening, there's a deeper opportunity for the healing, because you can really witness someone.
That makes me want to
That
cry
is awesome.
too.
I know.
I'm
Now,
seriously
are you
emotional.
absorbing that from
Yeah.
them? Like when you leave, as
Yeah.
at the end of the day at the Chakra Shack, if you've had some heavy interactions, do you feel exhausted and just drained from taking on all that energy?
I feel Jill and everyone in the store does a job to regulate that, cleanse it. Taking the deeper breath is the fastest way to cleanse your energy. You can't do anything without that air,
That
and you
sounds
move
good.
it in and out, and then you don't hold it. You don't have to hold it. I think the misconception is that people feel like, oh, I just went through a heavy emotional thing, I have to keep holding this energy right now. You can release it very quickly.
And
Just
what are the
that's
best
it.
ways to do
Acknowledge
that?
it, appreciate it, and let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Breathing.
Breathing is
Yeah.
a huge one. I mean, your nervous system holds you in different states. So if you get into a dorsal or sympathetic state where you're fight or flight, you really want to learn to take deep breaths, learn to
Right.
relax your body, go into the level of ventral, a connection, feeling close to people,
It's such
safe.
a simple action that we don't
know.
have practice to do. I'm going to start trying to do it, because it's like just driving down the freeway, or you're having like calls are going off and text messages are going off and people are trying to get a hold of you, and you're supposed to be in 2 places for some reason at the same time. Like you can just stop and breathe and feel better.
Yes.
Like, because
if you
none
can-
of it's actually matters.
Different breaths can actually help regulate your
Right.
system. Like if you learn to breathe in for 4 and out for 6, breathing out longer
Right.
relaxes you. You
Wow.
want to wake up,
Yeah.
breathe in longer, breathe out shorter.
Oh, that's interesting.
Put that next to your
Okay.
coffee.
All right, so now we right, exactly. So breathing in quickly and breathing out slowly to relax.
Relax, yes.
Okay.
So longer exhales relaxes you. Longer inhales, excites you, gets you moving more.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write all this down.
I know. We're going to
It's
have
a lot,
to
but
go
it's
and
like
take
what
a class.
You incorporate it daily, slowly over
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Practice, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a practice.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
teach-
lifestyle.
you need some
things.
long exhales.
Yeah.
You're living in your red world.
Yeah, right? So,
For
it
sure.
takes away from that saying, don't hold your breath.
Exactly. Oh,
Right.
that's true,
So
actually.
Hold your breath.
Actually, that's true.
Relax.
Who knew it was all based in just spirituality the whole entire time? Love
Right?
it.
And having those deeper breaths are really going to help, go through the different parts of your energy, like your chakra. So activating them. So if your heart's not being active, learning, like if you have a low heart chakra activity, learning to breathe into that is that's also going to get you out of your head.
Yes.
I
The
love
more
that.
you can learn to use your head and your heart, all your parts together
Right.
to help move you forward.
So, Natalia, you did the intuitive readings. Do you do card readings as well?
Yes, I mean, intuitive means we're using all different forms of tools to
Okay.
help guide someone. So it doesn't mean it's just tarot or it's astrology. It could be astrology cards. It could be cleansing the aura. It could be tapping into someone's spirit guides, being open to that, of course. So there's different tools of it, but yes, I do those as well on Saturdays 3 to 7, and there are many readers. There are many readers
Love it.
available.
Wait, what
They're
is this
amazing.
tapping into your energy guides?
Yeah.
I need to know, because other people could be doing it for us. This sounds great.
Oh my
Can I just
gosh.
hire an energy guide and get it? Somebody else guide me.
Can someone else? just
What
do
is
this?
that? How do we
Yeah.
do that?
The spirit guide communication, most people who are practicing it for themselves are getting familiar that you always have a support team, you know, whatever. It could be a grandmother who passed on, you know, someone who you're just like, oh, I see a penny and I remember my nonna.
Sure.
Something like that. That's a guide.
Right.
And
I love that.
You can just sit in your meditations 20 minutes and just say, I'm thankful, I'm grateful for connecting and feeling a sense of peace. And it's you having a dialogue, yes, with yourself, but maybe something a bit beyond yourself.
So more of people that have come from the past that are no longer with you, that you tap into their love and their energy as they're hovering around you. Is that how you would describe that? Or
yeah, that would be like ancestral family line. That's a close way to connect to it. Yeah.
And then what about other people's energy that's around you? Like if you're spending time with other people that you have to spend time with, let's say, for instance, like in a work environment, Gary. No, I'm just kidding. But if you are with someone whose energy has an effect on you, can you just use some of the cleansing techniques we've talked about today to try to wash that off of you at the end of every day of work? I mean, how do you put a force field around you to not take that home with you?
Yes, you already have a force field around you. You're being empowered to remember that that power is here. It's not in someone else's energy. Even if you feel that they're showing or have a stronger, more like the rock around the river. If you feel like you're the river when you're next to someone, then it's just calling you into this strength. Deep breath. I even like to put a triangle on my solar plexus sometimes, just remembering this is my power. I sit in it. No one can take that from me. And when I take that deep breath in, I literally like to move my hands outside, cleanse my aura. That's my space.
Yeah,
a lot of people do actually set like energy around them, like the intention of white light, pink light, may love go out and only love come through. Or you could, surround yourself in mirrors in your head and then everything reflects off you. So setting that intention before of your energy that you are protected is a powerful way.
So if somebody was like
especially
driving
if you
home
know you're
right
going
now,
right, if you know you're going
from work, and you could like give them just a quick something to like decompress from the day, what would you recommend they do on their drive home? They're like in an hour traffic right now and they just want to be home. And how could they like slough off the day?
I feel the affirmation, speaking it to yourself, because you're in that car with all that time with yourself. You know, I'm loved, I'm safe, it is going to be okay, and I'm grateful for where I am.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. She's like
such a perfect thing to do before you walk into the house with your family, because everyone has their own stuff going on, and to walk in with your energy feeling clear so that you can be there for the people that you love, and to be able to turn your attention to your kids and not be carrying all the stuff from your long work day with you. And that is a
transition
gift.
time from like one thing. And even though your family's beautiful and you love being with them, it's like a whole new thing that you're transitioning into. So I think like at the end of the day, just like a quick, like being grateful for what you have, like before you go into your home, like I'm grateful for a family, I'm grateful for a home to live in, whatever, before you enter that whole new realm of excitement and stress, whatever is going on at home, like just the decompressing.
And to find a way to get centered and to be present. When my daughter was little, I was in an abusive marriage. And so many times my mind would be replaying the tapes of what had happened the night before or what could potentially happen that night. And so even though I have a crayon in my hand and I'm coloring with her, my mind is certainly not present. And so finding that way to get centered and compartmentalize that a little, even though that was such a very traumatic experience that was ongoing, I wish I would have been able to be better about just being so present with her. And that was a very difficult thing for me to do. And I have a lot of regrets from that. A lot of lost time, just not being 100% present.
In the now, like in the moment. Like
that's a lot to be going through, and your mind is constantly trying to keep you safe. So I hope you can grant yourself a lot of compassion for that, because there's not many. I mean, I don't think you would expect anyone to be like, oh, around abuse, I want to be calm and present. Like, how could you expect that
you're
of
just trying
anyone?
to get through the next day.
Yeah, you're just trying to get through the next day. That's a whole different part of your brain that's activated when you're trying to protect yourself versus when you're staying safe. So you can't even access the part of your brain that can be present when you're going under like threat like that. So really find compassion for yourself in that situation.
Thank you for that. 'Cause I do carry that as a regret, which I'm going to let go of.
Yes,
thank you for saying that. And I think that a lot of people do. You have that regret thing, just we carry it all around with us. We're just trailing it.
And it's
behind
usually
us.
like with your kids too.
Let it go.
Like that's my biggest regret if I was going to have one, is just not being present. Like, even though, I mean, in reality, it's like you're in survival mode, you're trying to make these things happen, you're doing all this stuff, right? But like you still feel guilty for not doing what was a literal impossibility to do.
Yeah.
So especially when it comes to your kids.
Relationships.
And
Right.
relationships,
leave.
right?
You know to
Right.
leave, but you don't. You
Right.
stay. Something compels you, and then when you do leave and you look back, you're holding on to that.
Yeah, you're like,
Mhm.
what was
Why
that?
did I do that? And then that
Yeah.
guilt sets in, and you kind of beat yourself up, right?
Yeah, for a
Absolutely.
long
I don't
time,
like that
sometimes
feeling.
years.
I'm like, my best learning experience has been from my failures or pain. You know,
Yeah,
those-
suffering is a
yeah,
powerful teacher.
Isn't
It
it?
takes
It
me
is.
right to my knees at times, and I
Mhm.
remember, it's okay.
It is. That's how
let
you
go
learn.
and move, and I'm a good person, and I love the self-talk and the self.
Mhm.
I believe that we need to do that more and really tell yourself
So
how
agree.
good you are, and really have a mantra.
Definitely.
Moving forward, and I create my own every morning. I always say I'm young and I'm youthful, I'm healthy and I'm healed.
Mhm.
Nice.
I'm strong with endurance. My spirit guides my mind, and my mind guides my body, both to obedience,
Woo!
to prosperity.
Yeah,
I'm
love
feeling it.
Love
That
it.
is good right
Powerhouse.
Right? Every single
I feel like
morning.
we
That
need
is
that
fabulous.
painted
We
on the
need to-
wall.
Right?
Right? No, it's a
Definitely.
good idea.
Yeah,
Very
We're gonna
that
put
was-
that
that
on the
was
wall.
good.
I love that.
That is
Yeah.
an
But
awesome
it's a
affirmation.
self-talk because, like,
Yeah.
getting in the gym in the morning, sometimes I'm not into it, and I go, no, my body does not control. My mind doesn't either. It's my spirit says you need this, and
Right.
that's where it starts at the top, right? And that helps me get in. I'm like, no, sorry, body, you're not in control today. Sorry,
Oh my God,
let's
I
go.
love it.
Another rep, get down, another squat, let's go.
And then you walk away and you're
And
feeling
boom,
great.
You're done, and I'm accomplished.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
feel
making your bed,
accomplishment
right? It's
and
like making my bed.
confidence.
Yeah.
Every
And then
morning, I make my bed, boom, get up, get dressed, go to the gym, let's go.
It's really interesting that you say that, because I think that confidence and everything is actually just such a self project, right?
Mhm.
Because like you let yourself down,
Yeah.
you tell yourself a lie, then when you don't follow through on this, then you're lying to yourself, then you are mad at yourself, and like it's really nobody else but you.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. And so you just keep letting yourself down for some reason. And then when you do something that you actually said you were going to do and you follow through, whether it's something easy like I'm going to eat oatmeal for breakfast, or I'm going to go to the gym, or whatever it's going to be, like you're like, wow, I'm having a great day. I did what I said I was going to do for me. So it's like, just do something simple for yourself.
And make it simple so you can learn to
Yeah.
trust yourself.
Just so
If
you can
keep-
learn to trust
You keep
yourself.
setting these goals you can't meet, you're gonna never succeed, and you're never gonna trust yourself.
Right.
So you do want
It's
to
a
keep
bad cycle.
It's a bad cycle. Get
Oh
the
my
little
God.
wins. Get the little wins build up, and then it can grow.
It's
and
the micro
snowball.
goals.
Little wins,
And then
yeah.
you trust yourself, because when you do not trust yourself, that's a scary, scary
It's-
place to be. You can't
it's-
trust the world when you can't trust yourself.
That's
Right,
true.
no kidding, right? And it's just like what you were saying earlier, Joe, which was the 33, 33, 33,
Mhm.
mind, body, spirit,
Sure.
goes to your point, Gary, is that you go in to take care of your physical body, but you're leaving with a spiritual
Everything else.
experience too, because
Yeah.
you got yourself to go to the gym with your mind and your body
Mhm.
and your spirit, and
Yeah.
it's all walking away intact.
Yeah.
See, no wonder you're so successful.
Exactly.
Right?
I
Yes.
have had a blast today,
So good.
from the aura photography to the crystals. I'm going to go back to the Chakra Shack and just load up with everything. I think our energy is just going to be so clear. And
I
thank you for
know.
clearing all of our
Yes,
energy
thank you
here.
so
Yes, thank you
Appreciate
so
that.
much for
Go
having
ahead.
us.
And I wanted to add one last thing, that for trusting intuition, learning how to do these skills and sets, we're going to have classes at the Chakra Shack coming
yeah.
up, and
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
be teaching people how to work with these tools so they can better navigate their personal lives, their spiritual life.
Well, we'll be at one.
We will definitely be there. I can't wait. What you have to go with us, Gary.
Yeah.
You can find us online at www.chakrashack.com. All the
Awesome.
events are there, the special services, schedules, like when Natalia's there, and so connect with us
I
there.
love
That's
it.
right. Well, we're definitely going to see you at the Chakra Shack. Thank you so much, Gary, Jill, Natalia, and of course, Gemma.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is TNT, and I'm Taylor. And I am here with some very special guests from the Chakra Shack, Jill and Natalia, and of course, the amazing Gemma.
Thank
And now we
you.
have another guest joining us, our friend Gary. And today we're going to talk about aura photography. I did this with Gemma the other day
We
in
had
the
such a
Chakra
good
Shack,
time.
and it was so cool. And I want Gary to experience, because we all have very different energies, and I want to see if it really comes through. What is actually an aura?
So aura is the energy that surrounds you. It was first identified by, I forget his first name, but Carillion photography, which doesn't do it in light, but it proved that we have energy beyond our physical spectrum, what we can see and what we can't, but we go beyond. That's how we're all connected, is because our energy is really going out, your energy is in mine, vice versa. So this has a biosensor right there with your hand that you would put on, and it measures the biofeedback to give each person where they're at this moment in time, their energy, and shows the color. Different colors stand for different things, have different meanings. There's no good or bad color, but there's positive and negative within the color.
Like everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so as we're going to discover, Gary is very red. So red is like a very passionate, excitement, grounded color. In the negative, you might hit a wall.
Yeah, right.
I
And
will
they're
go over
working.
that wall.
They're
Yeah,
working
yeah,
too
I know,
hard.
like you might, like all those dimensions and intensity, like and
Right.
so that would be
It could catch up with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So whereas I usually am like in a blue, like even in my most angry, I'm gonna like not like hit a
Right.
like
Right.
it's not gonna express in that. So it's all about the aura photography I love because it helps you, first of all, identify, get some awareness over
Right.
what your energy is, and then when we give you the report, it'll type out questions like and ask yourself so you can see, am I working in the highest good of this energy?
Right.
And if not, where do I need to rein it in? And how do I use this,
Sure.
optimize this energy?
Right.
It makes sense.
Because as a red, you're going to be like a force, a force to be reckoned with.
Right.
You're not like me. I'm so sensitive to everyone around me. You can just move through it. Like a bomb could go off
I
and your
do.
energy isn't going to
Yes.
change.
Right.
Yes,
For
Right.
me,
that's
like
so
I don't
true.
even turn the ringer on my phone.
Yeah, that's right. That's
I
very in
love
line
that.
with who you are. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
accurate.
I always say I hit speed bumps at 100 miles an hour.
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
even
I
feel,
like
boom,
that.
I'm gone.
Yeah,
Let's
you
go.
can just keep going, which is
That's a
great.
good mantra in life in
Yeah.
general.
But then
hit speed
sometimes
bumps.
you break your axle like I do.
No.
You can't break that after speed bumps too hard.
Well, that's because you have low profile tires.
I know that is true.
Thank you. So Gary,
God,
you
okay,
put-
another high five. That is so good.
High five through the mic.
Okay, yeah.
okay, so Gary, put your hand on there and let's just see if
Okay,
being around all
let's
these
test him
women
out
has
here.
made any effect on
Oh, it's
your
probably
red
gonna be
energy.
super red like my
Okay,
cheeks.
so we'll just let it go again. So take a
Okay.
few deep breaths,
Okay.
and as it centers down, and now you're back. So yeah, you're holding strong at red. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop that because
So that's amazing. It shows like a large glow around his body on the computer screen, and then it's like mostly red with a little bit of
Can you go hand
orange,
again?
Yeah, I sure can.
and then
Can you
he's
do the
got
same?
like some
Yeah.
white
I am
coming in there on the
consistent.
side even,
You
Taylor.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you have
Okay, there you go.
so much red, but then there's white. I mean,
I
is
know.
that just polar opposite? What does that mean?
Yeah, what is the white coming in on the right side?
So the energy coming in on the right is going to be the yin energy. So it's the energy coming into his aura. So that could be the environment where his thoughts are at, but it could be us.
What
And
does white represent?
white is a very spiritual. It's like the highest. It relates to the crown chakra, really connecting above. To tell you the truth, I don't usually see it mixed with the red. So I mean, because they are.
I know
like
he's
I
like
am unique.
That's it.
He is a unique. I always say that's very much you because you're like strong like bull,
That's right.
but you're spiritual
100%.
and sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
No, I have that humility about me, but I am a
Yeah.
powerhouse. If
But
I
you
see
are.
it, I don't stop it. But I do have that, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for the things I have. I stay in humility because I know it's not from me.
Right.
But I do channel that energy, and when I'm ready to go, I am a bull. Let's go
Absolutely, yeah.
all the way
I
till we
feel like
finish.
that's so accurate.
It
It
really
really
is
is.
so
It's
accurate.
pretty amazing.
Now,
Right?
is it better for the people that you spend your time with to have the same colors and aura as you, or is it better to feed off of each other from your different strengths?
So it's just going to be that certain
Great
energies
question.
attract each other.
Okay.
So there's like couples will come into the store. If the husband doesn't want to do it, I'm like, I'll bet you, $20. I know what color you are. Like,
Right?
You don't have to
I
do
love
it.
it. I
It's
love
just a little side bet.
Right.
It's a side bet.
So, because like a red isn't gonna be with a violet, and that's has to do with a lot of different things. But the way
I
for
like
one thing,
violet.
you like the color, but it's just gonna be such a different energy that you're just never gonna.
It's not going to
connect,
happen.
And it's just like the way you experience love is
True.
very
No,
different.
Yeah.
Like a violet is going to be a red is going to be very physical, and how you express love is going to be more on a physical level. Where a violet's going to be like, oh my gosh, he just wants to touch me, like.
Yeah,
Oh
And
my
I
gosh,
want
yeah,
my-
that's
To
interesting.
be known for
No,
my
you're
spirit.
right. 100%.
Right?
Come here.
It doesn't value me. So it's
Hold
the
my
way
hand.
exactly.
Sit
Hold
next to
my
me.
hand.
Right.
Listen to me. Communicate with me. You're gonna be going. And it's not
Yeah.
that isn't of love. It's
No,
just
no,
not
no.
how he would express love and
Right.
communicate love.
Right.
So usually there's complement colors and similar colors. So a red and an orange would be very similar to each other. Like green and a violet complement each other. Yellow and blue complement each other.
Right.
So who do I get complimented with?
I don't know the complement to red. I think you usually are going to stay around red and oranges usually.
Right.
Probably maybe up to violet. Or I mean not violet, yellow. I would say. Yeah. So I think the earth energies.
Well, that's good
Yeah.
because we're orange and yellow.
I'm orange.
So-
Taylor's orange. Gemma's yellow.
So I'll push his limits. I guess.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding.
Exactly. So we all work really well together, but
Right, I
we
know.
bring different traits that
Yeah.
make it all work.
I feel like it's good.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
the blue, you said that you were blue, Jill. What
Yeah,
is that?
so I'm blue. That relates to the throat chakra. That's a nurturer, educator, compassionate. So yeah, I'm gonna
And that's
need to
who
have
you are too.
Yeah.
So it does actually
Exactly.
align.
and and it can change throughout time. Like when I started 20 years ago, I was a green, and I will tell you, I loved green. It's the most social color. It's in the middle. And then I got all into this stuff and had all those losses, and I was violet.
And then it changed you.
Yeah, it was violet, and I was dating a fireman are red, and so I noticed that because I went from green to violet, and I was like,
fireman,
he
so
was, and then I was
wow.
like, I don't think he changed, but all of a sudden, I had shifted, so his red energy was like,
Overwhelming,
Over
my
overwhelming for your
shoulder.
violet
Yeah.
Over
nature.
my shoulder, woman. Let's go.
Right? I love it. Over my-
He's playing fireman.
He's the fireman.
yeah, exactly, right?
Red aura.
So I noticed that I see more yellow towards my head. So why is it more yellow up there?
So that's going to be representative of your thoughts and what's going on. So yellow is the color of the intellect and fun and positivity. So if you were going to study for something, pulling in yellow energies in your head would be really powerful. So it just represents
That's
that area
awesome.
of the
That's
body.
my thoughts too.
And those
It's
are going to
good.
be the outside colors are going to be the ones that change more frequently. The inside, where your heart is,
Mhm.
relates to your core beliefs and values. So that does usually take something extreme to shift
Right.
it,
Yeah.
where you're like, I am a different person.
No,
Right.
I know
Yeah,
who I am.
something
It
crazy.
will change.
No.
Well, I mean, if
Yeah.
something happens to you in life that changes you as a
It
person,
could. Something
it could.
traumatic.
Yeah, I think I've had those already in the past.
Yeah, well, yeah, you.
Well, it's never
might
too
not have
late
been
for
a
another
red
one.
Joel.
I don't know. I compare some of the things that I've had in my past losses, traumas, and stuff, and I don't think there's anything that's going to be any worse than what I've been through without getting into details. So I think I'm pretty grounded in understanding where I'm at.
Yeah.
And this is pretty awesome that my energy is that. I do
Right.
throw off a lot of that good energy, but I am pretty intense.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's definitely got
Let's
an
go time. Let's
intensity.
go.
What was yours, Taylor? Like, do you have your chart?
Orange. I have my
I want
chart.
to see it.
I know. I'm curious. I want to see
Let's
yours
see,
too.
'cause
You
I
would
was
say
gonna
it can
pull mine
change
out.
from like big events in your life, but what about if you're just like not feeling good? Because the other day I wasn't feeling great when I was in your shop. I think I was
like
really
I said,
stressed.
the colors around can shift, and it can. So I
Can you
have
see
been
if yours
blue for
changed?
like
Yeah.
I think
You wanna
20 years
switch?
now, and
Yeah,
maybe
let's see.
2% of the time I do orange, and that does take like. And when I'm orange, I'm like, I'm out of here. Like, obviously, my energy. This is not my energy. I'm not connected to myself at all. So it can, but not usually. I mean, and you would normally recognize it in the descriptions, like if it doesn't sound like you.
And it's more than the aura. Like in the report, it also breaks it down to all the different chakras and like the shape of the chakra or how big it is, the energy of
Yeah,
that.
so the chakras are where the aura comes from.
Mm.
So the functioning, and ideally those would all, chakras are a constant work to balance, and they would take a lot of energy.
It's again that daily ritual, right?
I think it's more like hourly.
Yeah, like
Maybe.
Oh no.
Minute by minute.
I don't know. I remember doing this the
Minute by
first time.
minute.
I'm like, I'm going to get my chakras perfect. And then I'm going to
Absolutely,
put it
yeah,
out. Now it's like 20 years later, and we're like,
Oh no.
well,
You
That's
maybe
how I
shock-
feel
next
about
year.
my credit score.
you
it's
chakra
perfect.
pressured
What
yourself.
happened?
Right? I don't need any more
Don't
pressure
tell
on
me.
Oh
myself.
my gosh. Well, I think the world just really isn't made right now. So I
Right.
think if you were someone that lived like the lifestyle of a monk, you would find I have one employee, and he's very zen, and he can get his chakras looking pretty good, but it's got to
Looking
be.
pretty good.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, I'm just like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I did meditate. I mean, he's doing chanting all
yeah,
day
he's
long and
literally-
meditating.
He's
and-
at one
right.
with the source.
It's gonna be like, I'll show you my chakra if you show me yours.
Right? Totally.
How do I know where my chakra is out of alignment?
So, well, we can look at this graph, and it'll show you. So your root chakra is really high functioning. So you're grounded. You're of this world. You start to your throat chakra. This throat chakra is the communication. So that's about speaking your truth to others, and it's also about your ability to listen. So communication in all, like being out in the open and authentic. So that's probably where I tell you to focus.
Mhm.
But look at your third eye. That's your intuition. That's pretty high too.
Yeah.
So it's really around here in the heart. And
That's a
solar
really
plexus.
cool chart so that it
Yeah.
shows everything there.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it shows all the levels, and these reports are extensive.
Well, and intense.
Yes.
It's just amazing they can tell that much just from your
From
transmitting your
the
energy.
energy on there.
So you can see up here we have the body, mind, spirit graph. And so that's where all your energy is. Ideally, we would be 33.3% in our body, mind, and spirit. So here I would just, recommend that you connect with other aspects, spirit, maybe go, however you connect with source, if that's meditation, if that's going to the beach and realizing like, wow, this is a big, beautiful world. But, just connecting with that, because I do believe the more we work with all three of those things and the more they're in unison, the further we get.
Right. I agree.
The purple, the violet, I should say, that he has toward the top, I have it in the same spot, I believe, on my report.
So that's your third eye chakra.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is that telling us?
So that's going to be,
What if it's big? Mine's big and fuzzy.
But yours is the same color too. It's violet.
No.
Yeah. What does that mean when it's all big and fuzzy?
Well, it does probably mean that you have a lot of energy there, so it is functioning well. It's not an area you need to increase. Ideally, again, these are going to be optimal if they're more in balance.
Right.
But so that's about, having
It's
a clear
interesting.
vision of the future. So an optimal working third eye chakra, you're going to, feel really intuitive. You're going to feel connected with what you need to do, where you need to go, if it's not working properly, you're going to run into like delusions and
Oh no.
well,
Is that all? Just delusions.
Just
well,
delusion.
it's just going to be like you think you know the future or what's ahead of you, and you're not really aligned properly.
No.
So you're
That
like,
sounds scary.
it would be scary because
Yeah.
you'd be thinking that your intuition is telling you to do this, and it's not functioning right. So you're like,
No,
oh,
you're like, oh my god.
this was a cliff, not a little
This could be
step. Like,
scary.
So on the outside area where Gary has the white, I had green coming into the left side, and you were telling me something
Yeah, me
about
too, it's
that,
green
something
coming in.
significant about that.
well, green is the social color,
So okay.
and that's just the energy coming in. And then on the right, that's the energy you're expressing. So it's about having not similar colors, but again, you want energy to be coming in at a rate that it's leaving you. Because if you have a lot of energy coming into you and not a lot of energy going out, you're going to find yourself to be like pent up.
Oh.
Whereas if you're the opposite and you don't have energy flowing in and you have it going out at a faster rate, you're going to be more in your male energy and you're going to feel
That
drained.
makes sense.
Right.
Right.
That makes sense.
So yeah, and so in that report, it should tell you like if you were left dominant
What side
or right
does it
dominant.
come in from? Left or right?
Left
Feminine.
is the feminine and right is the male.
Oh,
So if you're
interesting.
acting, in the male energy of directing and things going
Right.
and you're not receiving, you're
Yeah.
just going to feel drained. And that's more where I tend to run. I'm in my male energy a lot, where other people, they're
I know, me too. I don't want to be. I'm actually like very submissive and don't like to be that, but it's like when you have to wear the pants, you wear the pants.
Right.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta-
it.
Yeah.
Like, but like me as a person, I'm not actually like that majority of the time. So like, can you like, is that just something that happens and you have to like learn how to control it in your own life?
Well, I think just as humans, we have to learn to assess our own needs and then
Right.
make those
Decisions.
changes on what we need. So if you are
Nobody
finding-
can do it for me.
Well, do you want somebody to do it?
Come on, Siri.
You know what's funny? Is
I wish.
I
I
think
mean, it can't-
society too pushes us because you're seeing the roles are changing too.
Yeah.
Where women are being more type A, they're doing more than
Like you don't
they've
really
done
have a
in the past.
choice too.
And they have to.
Yeah.
And, especially with the divorce rate, where
Right.
single parenting, you're doing both roles. So
Yeah.
it's kind of confusing knowing really what's your role. Are you male or
both
female
people.
in your role?
Right.
For both, male
Yeah.
and female. So I'm sure that can have an effect on your, energy
I mean,
as well too.
That's a
I
big
mean,
source.
it's confusing. People don't really, know where they're supposed to fill in and stuff. And I think as a woman that's always putting energy out, while I would love to be submissive, it takes a level of feeling safe with someone.
Oh yeah, like
to
I don't
let
know if I
them
could
do
ever
that,
get
'cause,
there. Yeah.
Mhm.
so creating that. But,
Right.
however we can learn to restore that balance. But yes, hopefully it would be through our relationships, right? Hopefully
Right.
our relationships fill our cup back up.
I hope so.
Absolutely.
Well, you showed me where the communication is maybe the openness. Like,
Mhm.
I am pretty closed off. Like you have to earn the inner side, inner
Right.
stuff of me
Right.
in order for me to open up, and it is trust. Like I just don't
It's
tell
the
you.
trust thing. It's
You'll
very
get
difficult.
superficial. You'll get a good heart for me, treat
Mhm.
you well, and do good things. And I do have a certain level of empathy, but to get the good stuff, you got to earn it. And my circle's small. Like
Right.
I don't have a lot of people that I do, so that's kind of funny that it shows that. And that is, I stay a little guarded.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think it
It's
is
interesting.
important on some level to be guarded, but with the awareness that I am wanting to open up, I am
Sure.
connected to my own self, And as I meet people that I feel safe with,
Yeah.
I will open up
Yeah,
because
true.
we get so used to not opening up, then it gets really even
Well, I know,
hard.
like,
Well, people take
it's
it for
the same
granted
thing.
and they'll use it for their own good. You
You
know,
have
and
to
really
choose.
just
I think you have to choose it.
Right.
Like, and I'm sure maybe it's the same. Like, you know, like I've been betrayed multiple ways,
Sure.
and I honestly, straight up, don't trust anybody. But I make it a point to be like, because people that were supposed to be my best friends
Yeah.
5 years later, 6 years later, people you're in business with, you know, it's not like everything is great until one day it's just like, screw you,
Sure.
something's better. And so it's like to build that trust and maintain it that's like a life. It's a
day
life
in and
process.
day out, right? Day
Yeah.
in and day out. Like you got to show
So
me
you have
the
to
good
choose
stuff.
it. I have to choose to trust somebody
Yeah, I
and
agree.
just give it up to the universe or God or whoever you want to say and be like, you know, whatever's going to be meant for me is going to be meant for me.
Exactly.
Because I'm not going to go through life all shut down and freaked out and stressed out. I'm just going to be me. And if somebody does something horrific, then you're like, well, whatever, you know what? It was awesome when it was awesome. And then
Sure.
appreciate it for what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just staying in your spiritual practice
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
day,
Yeah, love
every
that.
day, and keeping
Yeah.
in your intentions and
Yes.
Staying
like doing the
positive.
clearing
Love that,
work,
Taylor.
and then
Yeah.
having your crystals around you to bring in the energy you want, and then the
Yes.
crystals to let things go.
Right?
So
You're like, I don't need you. I've got my crystal
I
and
know,
I've named
right?
it.
I'm just gonna hang out in the store all day long over at the Chakra Shack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does take hours.
Only unless you're here.
Right.
You need
Right,
to be
right, right.
here.
Exactly
You
right.
definitely need to be here.
If we're not in studio, you'll find us at the Chakra
At the
Shack.
Chakra.
I find
Thank
us at
you
the
guys
Chakra.
so much. We've learned so much today, and we're
Yes,
going to learn
thank
so
you.
much more about
It was
all
incredible.
of this. And I am just going to say, here's to
Oh.
positive energy.
Yes.
And
We love it.
thank you.
Yes.
you.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you so much for being here. Let's all just love one another
Yes.
and get spiritual and take care of ourselves and the
Right.
people that we love. So thank you so much. This is Taylor.